What is good, everyone? I hope everyone's having a great day. I thought today would be a good day to make a garden update. It's about 50 degrees. Forecast will be really nice the next couple of days. I'll put up a picture on the screen what it's looking like. But I thought, let's start off with the needle palm. This thing looks really good. There's a little bit of tip burn, which is to be expected. And the older leaves are pretty damaged, but that's to be expected also. But it looks flawless. You can see the spears completely green. Same with that one down there. Not focusing. Same with the pups. They look amazing. I'm not complaining at all. How I protected this is I had a blanket wrapped around it, and then I put a bucket on top with pine needles. So no supplemental heat, only that stuff. It was really just to stop the wind, and I think it did great. Let's move on to the next plant. Okay, here's how my one azalea is looking. It's not looking too good. It's pretty fried up. But I think the more of the issue on this was not the cold, but last fall I planted it and it was a really weird fall. It was a drought. It was cool. It was really weird. And this thing needed a lot of water, but I didn't have time to water it. So it kind of got neglected. I only watered I tried to water it every day, but some days I missed out, and I think that really affected how it looked. But I'm hoping this spring it will recover really nicely, but only time will tell. Let's move on to the next plant. Here's how my Cuba japonica is looking. It's looking really fried. As you can see, there's a couple green leaves left, but the thing I'm happy about is all the center growths are alive. As you can see, they don't feel squishy or anything. Still at the base where it was buried in snow, you can see there's a lot of green. I think this plant will recover pretty well this spring. I only had a blanket wrapped around it on a couple cold nights. I should have protected it more, but it's fine. Let's move on to the next plant. Okay, this is how my biggest sable miner is looking. I probably should have protected it the first day of the cold, but I did not. But anyway, here's how it's looking. It's going to lose this frond. As you can see, is very crispy. This one probably. These two, I don't think so. They're obviously damaged. I think the tops are going to need to be trimmed back, but they look really good compared to any of the other stuff. The spear, I'm surprised. I was surprised how non-damaged it would be. I thought it would be like, I don't know, more damage than this. Just a little bit of tip burn. As you can see, there's just another spear right there looking flawless. How I had this protected was I had Christmas lights with some pine needles and a little blanket wrapped around the spear. And then I took this bamboo stick and put 2 blankets on top, which worked pretty well actually. So good protection. I don't even need, typically in normal winters, you don't even need to protect sable miners around here, but this one was so bad we had to. But anyway, let's move on to the next palm. Okay, here's my one sable miner. It's just across from there, but this one got pretty fried, which it's my own fault. I put way too many Christmas lights on, so I think it fried off most of the leaves, but it's fine. This year, I'm gonna really try and nurse this palm back to health. It really needs some help. As you can see, it never does well, but anyway, you can see this leaf, it's gonna put on its first split leaf this spring and slash summer, so we'll see how this does. I had same with this protection. It was similar to my needle. It was the same to my needle palm. I just had lights, pine needles, lights, a little cloth around the spear, and then a bucket on top. I think that's how I fried it. Way too many lights in there. I probably didn't need to put as many. But anyway, let's move on to the next plant. Okay, this is my worst looking sable miner. As you can see, it is extremely fried. I'm probably going to remove it and replace it with something else. I'm thinking of palmetto by the house, but it will get protection. As you can see, there's only a little bit of green left, and it's right at the center of this spear. It won't pull, but I'm thinking about digging this one up and just potting it up and see what it does. I haven't decided yet, but I'm pretty disappointed in this one. But let's move on to the next plant. Here's my Carolina Sabal. This was planted this August, so I was expecting it to get pretty damaged. As you can see, I had this one protected also with a little bit of light. They probably didn't do much, and a blanket and a pot. As you can see, it looks pretty good. Well, it looks okay. I was just trying to make sure all the spears would survive. But it does look good. I was hoping it would look better, but I planted it in August. It was a risk, but anyway, let's move on to the next plant. Well, this is not a palm or anything, but this is what my crocus are looking like. They opened a bunch more flowers, and there's still a lot more to come. Let's move on to this. Here's how the Louisiana looks. This one did pretty good. The only damage it got was on the older leaves and a little bit on this leaf. This one, a little bit of spotting, but it looks very good. Let's move on to the next plant. Okay, here's how my sago palm did. It did really well. As you can see, just a little bit of not spotting, just a little bit of brown leaves there. It's doing good. I'm expecting this to grow really big this year. Okay, let's move on to the next one. This one is just right next to it, but here's how this Sabal Minor did. As you can see, it did really well actually. No protection at all except pine needles and snow, but you can see it's just a little bit crispy there, and it's really green down there. This frond was really old, so I was expecting it to be damaged. Same with this one, but wow, the spear is really green. I think this is going to grow really well this year. Let's move on to the next plant. Here's the next Sabal Minor. It's probably one of the worst looking ones I have. As you can see, it's barely holding on. I'm probably going to dig this one up, pot it up, and see how it does, and replace it with something else, but no protection on this one. It did, I don't even know, it did terrible, but I'm hoping if I do keep it, it will give a nice recovery. But that's it. I hope everyone has a good day and enjoying all this warm weather. Even though there's snow, it's starting to melt, as you can see. But thanks for watching, everyone.